Hey everyone, today we are doing some train chasing in the state of Montana. Beautiful area. We're chasing this train carrying crude oil, and it's a pretty hilly terrain, but the train is going pretty slow, so we're able to catch up to it. Very hilly, twisty road, but right now we're about even with the engine to my left. We're about to come up pretty close to the tracks once again. Here we are at the first crossing. This train's extremely stinky. It's not hard to catch up to the train around here. Tracks are very windy and they can't go very fast. Oh great, the speed limit's 70 here. Now we can make some good time. Alright, this is old US 10 in Montana, and this road is about to end. So this will be the last time we'll be able to film this train. We just gotta wait for it now to show up. There used to be a bridge up here, but it looks like it's gone. Maybe we can still continue a little bit off-road. I'll get out and see the train as soon as this becomes impassable or I see the headlight. I can't tell if this is gravel or rough pavement. It might be rough pavement because I see cracks going through it. This is pretty cool to drive on, this abandoned road. On the map it said it ended there, but apparently not. This might be the end up here. Then we got a few big culverts we can check out too on the way back. This is the end of it. This must have been before they built the highway. Here it comes, blowing his horn, going over the farmer's road. Should peak out any moment now. Here it is. Here comes the train. All right, everyone, that's the end of that train. While that was going by, I got my big high boots on. Now we're gonna go inside a few culverts around the area, under the railroad and underneath this road, just to check them out. So I drove out to some of these western states, and we're gonna be filming a couple trains in the area and their culverts. This area, most of the country, there's only like a few states that don't do good maintenance. Like one of them was Massachusetts. They do pretty good maintenance now. You can't really find issues there anymore. A lot of them was just neglect. A bunch of them were neglect clogs. So most of the blockages we find now are beaver related, things you can't really prevent. This area for the most part is extremely high elevation. That's the reason why there's not much dense forest. It's just high elevation, harder to grow. Like most of the area we've been in the past few days has been above 4,000 feet. Check it out, everyone. This is kind of cool. See this tunnel? It's just for the farmers' cows to be able to get to another pasture. That's why they got these barbed wire fences here, so they don't accidentally go up on the highway. They can just pass underneath there. All right, everyone, here's a bridge along this old section of road. Right underneath it is the culvert for this highway. I guess they deemed a giant bridge wasn't necessary anymore these days. And then over here, there is a culvert for the railroad. It looks like the barbed wire fence cuts off there. So maybe we can get to it. Oh, yes, there is a barbed wire fence here. It's kind of crushed down by this fallen tree, so we can easily get over this. Got the big high boots on, but I don't think we're really gonna need it. A lot of these small streams around this area only run if it's raining. There's not even a distinct riverbed. Mostly drainage and spring thaw. This area gets a lot of snow. Look at that. That is so cool. It's a glass insulator from back when they had telegraphs. Not a telegraph pole in sight. That might be the old telegraph pole. See that creosote covered telephone pole? Top of it rotted away, but the bottom that had the creosote did not. Somebody made a heart in here. Big pile of debris at the end. Stones, mostly. And I can tell that the farmer definitely had to fix this, because with this amount of pile here, can't believe nothing's stuck along that fence. It must happen. Has to if this thing ever gets to capacity. And this is also very cool. A very slim section of train rail. They just had to cut a little sliver off it to make it fit. Awesome. All right, everyone, we're down a little ways more, and this stream actually has water in it. We're gonna check out these culverts right here, and then we're gonna check out further down. So it goes under the tracks, down a little bit, and about 500 yards back under the tracks again. The next culvert I'm gonna show you is really old and pretty cool. First, we're gonna check out these right here. Looking for a good way down. Nice stable sandbar. Very pretty. Is that a beaver dam or something on the other side of this? Looks like we might have a big blockage, but is anything behind it? We're about to find out. We're gonna walk in the more shallow end. You see how the water's a little discolored? Around here, a lot of that is sulfur. I did laundry in one of the nearby rivers a couple days ago, everything smells like sulfur afterwards. You have the clothes I'm wearing right now, give them a sniff. Since out on these trips, just do laundry in water that appears clean, it smells like sulfur. I don't mind it. I think it smells like setting off a bunch of fireworks. Not bad at all. Yeah, that does look like a beaver dam. But is there water behind it? Oh, there is a little bit. Yep, I can't believe it. We found beavers. And some spider friends. These beavers are going to be angry. Alright, we're out on the other side. Yeah, we're going to give this a shot at unblocking. I'm going to take this piece of styrofoam with me back to the road, and I will return with a rake. Then I'll show you guys further downstream. All right, everyone, we're back. And look at this pile of debris. The railroad company, BNSF, has been unclogging this culvert before, but obviously the beavers have not been relocated or trapped yet. This drainage ditch looks like it goes a pretty long time, and I'm hoping there's enough water to help us pull this apart. I'm definitely going to dismantle it enough where the next gush of water can take it away. I wonder how low this was just a couple days ago, because it was raining the past few days here. So let's hope there's no angry snakes in the water. I have yet to see one, but apparently there are a lot more rattlesnakes around here than what I'm used to. Alright, so I'm going to set a camera in here and start pulling apart. Just a huge amount of spiders on the ceiling in here. Whole ton of them. Whoa. A lot of tumbleweeds in here too. It's almost that time of year. Tumbleweeds are going to be coming out everywhere. I'm hoping to create a flow enough to help remove all this junk. I'm hoping I can get a flow to get rid of this pile. The beavers must have worked extra hard on this one. Not many trees around that are very accessible to them. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm starting to stumble and fall down a bit. I'm so exhausted already. We will do a little bit more of that in a moment, but the time being, we have to set this pile on its way. It looks like we have enough current to do so. This water is so gross. It stinks horribly. It's horrific smell of fish. Smells like raw fish in here. It's horrible. But you see the pile is starting to move. We do have enough power to get this out of here. And I need to make more space to throw things. All right, the pile right here is now starting to budge. It does not matter if there's enough power to get it out of here or not. Just needed it out of my way. The next storm will be able to push it now that it's not anchored. All right, let's continue a bit. By getting that to move along, the water level is also lower here below the dam. Oh, the blockage made it out of the pipe. These beavers are annoying. This is one of the more annoying dams I've ever taken apart. Not coming out yet. They got a lot of rocks in this foundation. All right, we're just about done. We got down to the bottom of it, ripping apart the foundation a little more. Now, we're not going to just completely do this job because a lot of this looks pretty fresh. Beavers are still here. And if the beavers are still here, that means it's just going to get rebuilt. Construction will probably start tonight. If you see the water line on all that grass, we've already dropped 8 inches. We will drop a bit more too. All right. Anything in the pipe will get taken by another storm. And you see there's a few sticks right here that I'm pushing free. Yep, the whole line of it's now following me. The water level in this pipe will drop a whole bunch once we remove this on the other end. If you see this mud on the side of the culvert, there was likely a barn swallow nest there not too long ago. Now, we're gonna try pushing this out with us. We'll see how that goes. Am I able to push it free? Yes, I am. Look at it go. Give it another kick, and we're gonna have a big flow on our hands. There we go. There's one more culvert I set around the bend, around probably about 300 feet down there. The next blast big enough to take this. Now that the riverbed widened, it's not deep enough to take it. Whoa. That's okay. It was not one of those rattlers that I've been looking out for. But what kind of snake is that? Does anybody know? What kind of snake is that? All right, so we got a big amount of debris out of that pipe. I'd say it's about 90% open. Now we're gonna go downstream to the next culvert pipe, which appears to be very old. So maybe that'll be pretty interesting. All right, everyone, we are about halfway down to that next culvert I mentioned. There's this right between it. Now this is the one I was saying is really old. So I did a little research. I think that snake might be a bull snake, maybe. I'm not sure. I couldn't find anything else that looked exactly like it. All right, this is actually very shallow. Not as deep as I originally thought it could be. I'm trying to find a good way up. Slippery, muddy slope. So it looks like this culvert is just to drain this area. So this area only has one poisonous snake, the prairie rattlesnake. And we have not come across that yet. So this culvert doesn't look like it gets used that often. Maybe only during the spring thaw, because it rained straight for the past day. This is really nice. Back when they built culverts to last. Beautiful. You see they added more concrete to the top, because as years go by, they added more ballast, raised the railroad up. Look in here. That's really cool, isn't it? You can see ballast has fallen in here, fallen in on the other side. They didn't build the wall quite high enough. So I gotta go in here. This is really cool. It's also a lot shorter than I would have imagined before approaching. And then it looks like it enters some ditch right here. Or maybe that's Farmer's little road. I do hear a train in the distance. Maybe we'll get to see that. Here's a beautiful shot with the old culvert. All right, everyone, I was mistaken. I thought that it wrapped around to that culvert we just walked through. It did not. It continues, and there are no more culverts in the path that it could possibly block. So that's a good thing. No worries about that debris going downstream. There's a bunch of beehives right here, and here is this ditch. It comes over here into this culvert, which appears to be already plugged. And look who plugged it. Beavers. This whole tree fell over. The beavers have been eating the bark all off it, chewing the branches. And what do we got? Is that removable? Probably not. It looks pretty deep in there. And that culvert is stupidly undersized. And by the evidence, during storms, water comes up here. Look at all the junk left behind. Yeah, that tree just got rotten and broke. Check out this bridge on the old main road. All falling apart, showing rebar. Dry as a bone here. So that means this is going the other way. No, it is not going underneath the bridge. This is pretty cool. So where does that culvert come out? Dry as a bone everywhere here. So the water does not enter this ditch one bit. It does not. So, also when I was down there, I could not hear any flow entering the culvert. So it appears it's backing up somewhere. Maybe the railroad has another culvert somewhere. Definitely quite a big backup. But that makes no sense. There is water clearly flowing in here. But where? Is there some kind of pipeline underneath this hill for the farm? What do you guys think? This is a weird one. Water's definitely flowing in there at a high rate of speed, but dry as a bone, the whole stream bed. Where could it be disappearing to? Let's walk down here to the next drainage ditch. Maybe it's somehow pouring it in here. Lots and lots of beaver marks. This area has a lot of beavers. Once again, no culvert. Quite the mystery. So there is a good chance that leads deeper underground for some sort of irrigation. All right, I do see a valve stem right here. So this might be being used for irrigation. Let's see what we got. I don't see any kind of pipe, although the water is dirty, but there is a slice gate there with a valve. So at one point this was used for irrigation on the other side of those tracks. Very recently this whole ditch was like 2 feet deeper. This is a weird one, and we cannot investigate that pipe anymore. I'm not going to go into these fields looking for it. All right, everyone, I figured out where it goes. Now it's starting to bug me for a bit, going up this crumbling hill. It comes out right here into this drainage canal. So it goes into that culvert to get underneath this river without interfering. So this is where it's coming out. Very slow moving. I think that pipe is very undersized. But, yeah, it is actually causing a problem by all the evidence of debris way above the entrance of it. So it has been overflowing into the river. All right, let's go back down here into this ditch. That might not even be a blockage, to be honest. It might just be floating junk. I assumed with all the beavers here, but apparently not. Apparently, no, that's not even a blockage. It's just some floating pieces of styrofoam in there. So yes, we are all clear. Just investigating the area made me feel a lot better about this. No more wondering what's going on. All right, everyone, a little further down the road, just checking out some cool culverts. We did not stop at any of the ones that were too small to go in. But right here, we have a big culvert going underneath the highway. We could make some great time around here. Speed limit's 80. First time I've ever seen that in real life. This looks pretty cool in here. Oh wow, there's barn swallow nests in here. Light on. Yeah, the ground in here looks awesome. There's a pile of bird poops. Oh, that scared me a lot. The grass just stood up behind me and it sounded like a footstep. Oh, they're all gone for the year. But the barn swallow population's huge around here. You find them all over things. There's another one there. A lot of times you find them smashed off. Sometimes with lack of maintenance, they just crumble. Then there's other times that some people just smash them off, kids having fun. There's no problem with that, as long as the bird's not in it anymore. I'm sure it's satisfying breaking the shell. Just looking around on the floor. Being careful in this area, because there are signs all over the roads, like the edges of the roads and all the parks, that there's rattlesnakes. I've yet to see one. But I know in my area there are timber rattlesnakes. There's some kind of animal poop. And the timber rattlesnake is rare enough that nobody puts signs up. But around here, there's supposedly a lot of them. So I'm watching out for that. I do have the big high boots on, so unless it really leaped up at me, I don't think I got much to worry about. And especially on the walk back through here after inspecting, I can walk back this with pretty good confidence. Probably won't even be looking at the ground. See, we do have some groundwater leaking here. I thought it was really cool to drive out here. I've never seen in my life, lots of poops, look at this. I've never seen in my life such a giant, vast area of farms. No trees, they've all been cut down a long time ago. And then there's areas that are prairies that never had them. Never seen that before. Thought it was very interesting. Check out this. That is so cool. They built, you can tell, year after year, nest after nest on top of each other. Now, barn swallows, I know, definitely do use their nests over and over. They reuse them. I have a pair of them that comes to my house every year, builds their little house on top of the security light. Wow, this is some very dense thickets. Look at the massive thorns on that stuff. Yeah, the barn swallows are pretty sweet. Every single year when they build a nest on top of that security light, they always get so scared, the parents, every time I open the garage door there, the loud noise of it going up and down. But after like a week, they get used to me and they're fearless the rest of their time there. They usually come by and have 2 sets of babies a year. Not sure if it's the same pair or not, but they're in the same nest. Now we're able to walk through this real fast. Got a little bit of broken glass in here. Maybe somebody even went camping in here. There was a propane cylinder on the ground for a little heater. And now we're leaving the culvert pipe. Lights off. And there's another pipe coming up, going underneath the old road here. It's misting out again, getting some more rain. Here we are going into a box culvert. This thing's probably pretty old. A lot of barn swallow nests in here too. And it comes out here. That culvert's a bit hard on the knees. Then this whole area floods where all the cattails are, and it makes its way over here to the railroad culvert. Let's check out what condition that's in. All right, here we are. Dry as a bone, everything. Let's see what we got in here. Lots more barn swallow nest. It's in good condition. You see they accidentally spilled a whole bunch of ballast down here in the exiting end when they were adding some to the track or making it higher. All right, everyone, here we are entering another culvert. Got some animal tracks in here. There's a lot of raccoons in the area that I've been noticing. Walking through a bunch of tumbleweeds. And it looks like we're gonna come out in a farm over here. It's a big pipe, got a good echo. And barn swallow nests. Hear that noise? Bottom of the boot brings in water and it makes a sucking sound with every step. This actually looks really pretty as we come out toward the end. What do we got up here? Is this a, oh, look at that, another triple stack. Is this a farmer's fence? Working as an unintentional grate for the culvert. You can see it's all messed up from high flow. That is really cool. Look at that barn swallow nest. Oh, that one just crumbled because they're made out of mud. It got rained on and it went. Here's some broken pieces of tiny culvert. Oh, this thing is not the farmer's fence. The farmer's fence goes up and over. This right here is actually a debris blockage, or a debris rack. And you see it got smashed out of the way, probably by the spring thaw or something. I wonder what kind of animal would be in here. Or if the fence is probably just to keep things out of the crops. But no, it's probably a cattle pasture. I guess a cow typically wouldn't go here. Walking through. Can't really go that fast. Bottom of my boots are wet, which is a bit slippery going over these large culvert ribs. We even got a mosquito friend in here. All right, everyone. Here we come out. And this is the culvert going underneath the road. A lot of tumbleweeds in there and more barn swallow nests. Very thick on the end. A lot of thickets. Probably hard to get out. Yeah, a whole wall of thickets on the other side where it comes out. An old barbed wire fence right here. So yes, it looks like whatever animal's over in that pen could make a mistake or make a escape if they were that smart or wanted to. See this? A lot of animals are using this as a passage. I can see the trail. And that's a good thing. A lot better than getting hit by the train. Now what do we got on the other side? Wow, a lot of barn swallow nests were there. All fell off. There's a whole bunch of them also. Yeah, I guess that's not the best thing to stick it to. Smooth steel. Oh, for a minute I thought this was like a wall of barn swallow nests. I didn't even notice it entered a different culvert at first. So yes, this makes sense. A lot of times when they add a second track or just simply make the track higher, they have to add extra culvert because as they make it higher with more ballast, the culvert has to be longer. Like you saw down there, they tried making the wall just a little bit higher, but you saw ballast was still falling in. Next step is adding more culvert to it. And you see what they did here? They drilled into this to mount the new culvert so it can't slide away over the years. That's pretty cool. And it looks like this culvert that, oh no, they poured that against there to close up that gap because you have like more of a 90-degree wall here at the bottom compared to the round pipe. Now we're inside the really old culvert. It's probably over 100 years old. Really nice high quality concrete. Got some tarps in here, maybe left over after construction or dragged down here during a storm. Oh, look. It's not even crunchy like I thought it would be. I've never actually messed with a barn swallow nest before. And what is that? Is that a squirrel? Maybe a dead prairie dog? Yeah, right here it looks like some of their ballast actually did fall in. That's what created this large wall. Driving by this mountain here, I can see a few buildings up top. I think they're houses. You can see there was a giant forest fire there. By the growth, maybe a year or two ago, all the trees are dead, but grass is already growing back. All right, everyone. Right now, I'm going to show you a very, very nice culvert underneath the railroad tracks. So this river doesn't look like it really flows unless there's a big rainstorm or a spring thaw. But this is a very nice railroad culvert, if you want to call it that. Maybe a bridge would be a better option to call it. but it does have a floor, which does make it technically a culvert. It's built exactly the same as that tiny one I walked through towards the beginning of the video. Very pretty. This doesn't flow that often. The grass isn't even pushed over. It's a little damp down here. All right, so it's not flowing enough to see visible water, but the water table is literally only a few inches down. I see water coming out of the crack, trickling a little bit. Here's a pipeline. There's all kinds of pretty cool irrigation in this area with all the farms and stuff. Not a single barn swallow nest, but look at the debris. There's been a few feet of water passing through it at some point. And that goes right down into the ground. This is pretty cool. It enters the river here. Here's a water crossing for one of the farms. Continuing down the stream bed. Ooh, there's a lot of deer tracks. And I believe in the distance I hear a train horn. Look at that. Looks like mountain. Yeah, that's a mountain lion. What do you guys think this is? Some sort of abandoned dam? There's water coming out of it. Absolutely gorgeous, this river we've been driving along. All the rocks are pure white. That's all you can see when driving by it. Pure white stones with green water. All the water around here is a greenish blue from all the sulfur. All right, so this is intaking a lot of water here. So no, it's not an abandoned dam. It's literally that drainage river right here that we just walked through. That's how the water gets into the river. It just goes over this, like that first setup we saw. Irrigation water goes underneath the actual river. So this is intaking into this ditch and off to farmers' fields. That's very interesting. Love this stuff. Look at that gigantic water pump right there. I just pulled over here to show you guys this beautiful landscape. The river is that really pretty bluish green from all the sulfur. Over across there, you can tell that entire forest floods. And if you look very, very carefully, there's even beaver chew marks on a few of them, trying to get them to come down. Alright everybody, these culverts are going to be the last ones we're going to look at in this video. There's one under the railroad, one under the highway, and we have a bridge right here on the main road. I believe back in these days they had bridges just because back in those days it was probably easier to build them. These days they just don't have enough money to keep building bridges everywhere, so they just put a culvert in as a cheaper option, even though it can't handle a big storm like this can, and a culvert plugs a lot easier. Look at all these bones on the side of the road. Probably a deer. There's a lot of deers around here. Always constantly running out in front of the roads. Literally in this area, I'd say, woo, half of all people's pickup trucks have a push bar on the front of them for that exact reason. There's a lot of deer that like to run out in front of cars, and I imagine, think the car is some kind of predator because they'll race on the side of you to jump in front of you. I've never hit a deer, but maybe I should get a push bar sometime in the future, because I have had ones who have tried to get hit. All right, we're gonna walk up here through these thickets because there's a massive culvert pipe here going underneath the highway. Then we'll check out what the railroad has. Got some cattails. Massive culvert. Probably almost 20 feet high. No, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, maybe 15 feet. Lots of really nice moss. Is that stinkweed? Yes, it is. Oh, this is really nice. All these aquatic plants. Haven't been seeing any frogs lately. Nice. I know just a couple days ago, across the state line in Wyoming, they had a few of the gates across the roads flashing because they have these really high elevation highways where snowstorms can pop up out of nowhere, so they close gates across the road so that you don't go up there. A lot of those roads no one lives on and they don't even plow them. A couple of those roads got closed yesterday. This is epic. This is literally the size of a train tunnel. Woo! Got a nice echo too. Let's see what's on the other side when we come out. You see all that culvert damage up ahead? What do you think caused that? The excavator unclogging it at some point? Or a vehicle flying off the road? Or maybe it was just damage when it was installed. Based on the water line in here, this culvert only gets about 3 feet of water typically at its high point. Look at all the spider webs inside every single rib. So many spiders. Huge amount. Never seen them on this level before. Got more bones everywhere. That's definitely a deer. Look at a jawbone. Pieces of deer everywhere. And now we have a whole bunch of mud that slowly came in here. Got more bones from the deer. Yeah, I can tell by this. There's usually not water here. Maybe a small trickle at times like there is now. This thing is prepared for a flash flood. All right, we're coming back out. Got to make our way through the thickets again, underneath the bridge and to the railroad tracks. A lot of water skimmers in here. Based on the plants, it looks like it's always damp. Surprised we didn't find any frogs. All right, this bridge is in very good shape. Unlike some of the ones earlier that weren't really in an important spots. Almost abandoned that part of the road. If we look up inside the bridge supports, there's so many barn swallow nests. And up above me, a lot of them fell off. Right here, the tiny trickle in the stream bed is now well below the riverbed. Until we get to this culvert pipe, you can see a little bit of water. This is pretty cool. The primary flow pipe and secondary flow pipe. I wonder if this was the original culvert and they added a second one, making it arched just to match it, or if there was a second one and it just got damaged. To me, it looks like this was here first. Then later on, they decided to build a second one, raised up the wall even higher, added some railroad ties, just so they could raise up the ballast. These kind of culverts will last forever when you make them out of stone. They will be here for hundreds of years before they fall apart. And once again, this is such a really nice river. I love the green color of it. And look, we got a pretty good animal trail going down here. And here's some, that might just be damage from debris, but there are also a lot of beavers in this area, I realized, that like to chew things. Really, really pretty river. Looks like a good place to do some rafting. Winter's coming soon. I see all the leaves falling off the trees. And everyone, I hope today's video was interesting. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. That looks just like someone's countertop. It looks so polished and beautiful. Really, really beautiful stones here. Wow, he's really close. Usually they run away. I don't have much for this guy to give him. Don't have anything a cow would want. Look at that big streak of poop coming out of those birds' nests. It looks like we might be heading into some kind of rainstorm up here. The sky is becoming very dark suddenly.